Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to my booth. I'm Jay, and it's Friday. Hey, look at that. We did it. Happy to be here with you on Friday, listening to some audio sent in by you. This sample comes to us from Kui. Thanks for sending this in, Kui. And if you would like me to review audio of yours, there's a form. It's in the description. Fill it out, send me something, and we'll put you in a video just like this. There's also coaching on my website if you want to hop the line and work more concertedly one-on-one, if that's your speed. So give that a look if you're into it. And I just wanted to say, before we dive in here, Kui left the nicest little note. I always ask in the forum to send me audio, what you want me to listen for. And they said, what do you want me to listen for? Nothing really. I just wanted to use this space to thank you for producing great content for VO artists. And that means a lot, Kui. So thank you very much. This whole space was created because when I started out, I was so overwhelmed. There's so much to know, and it just left me in the lurch so many times. And I don't think anybody should have to go through that alone. So I'm so happy to hear that you're finding value in it. And whenever somebody says something like that, it means a lot. So to all of you and Kui, thanks. With that said, hey, let's listen to what we got going on here. Take it away.
By 2050, climate change can make coffee extinct. We're fighting for it today with regenerative farming. Salt Spring Coffee. Infinitely good coffee for an infinitely better tomorrow.
Oh, I really hope that's not true. If coffee leaves by the time I'm in my 60s, anyhow, let's listen to a couple more and then I might have more overall feedback.
His is the oldest registered distillery in the United States. From a place where the water is cool, clean, and iron-free. Perfect for making whiskey. Charcoal mellow drop by drop for smooth sipping. The Tennessee way, which is not the easy way, but is his way.
Awesome. So I had a sneaking suspicion in the first spot that the second one kind of confirms a bit. There's a smidge here, Kui, of performing a tone rather than telling the story. And this is something I caution folks on often, and it's really easy to do because we hear so many commercials. We know what they should sound like. Like this Tennessee whiskey ad is a perfect example. If you see a whiskey ad come on screen or on the radio, you know that it's going to be like a Tennessee whiskey. It's not done the easy way. It's done drop by drop. But it's his way, and it makes it taste darn good. Just right for... It's going to sound like that. And you're edging into what it should sound like. But never go for what it should sound like. Go for the content of the story. And what that does is... then I start listening to the content of the story rather than, oh, this person can nail a tone. And it's a pretty fundamental shift that really amplifies the way you read stuff. And it just sends everybody's reads way over the top. So in this whiskey read, I wouldn't try to make it smoky necessarily. If they want it to be smoky, they might not cast you, but that's fine. It was never your ad to begin with. If that's the case, that's what I mean there. However, focus on, what thoughts go together. Why do we distill it this way? Why is it done drop by drop? It's not the easy way. It's actually the hard way, but it's his way. And already that's got more soul to it, more spirit, instead of, oh, this guy can do a really nice Tennessee read. And I'm not saying that it's a bad read by any means, but that'll be your next step, I think. Same deal with the coffee horror story at the front. This line here in particular.
Infinitely good coffee for an infinitely better tomorrow.
I would recommend there. I recommend this to a lot of people, but try a shrug. It's a physical gesture. Really, anytime you can use a physical gesture to pull yourself out of your brain and into your body. In VoiceOver specifically, it's really, really helpful. So an infinitely better tomorrow for an infinitely better coffee for an infinitely better tomorrow. Whereas if I shrug, an infinitely better coffee for an infinitely better tomorrow. It's totally nonsense, this shrug, but it changes my inflection somehow. Other things I do are listing things on my fingers, pointing to things in different spaces, putting one thing in this hand, another thing in this hand, and weighing them, whatever it is. But those would be my tips for those. Let's keep listening.
The time has come to rethink your regular, to break away from the everyday, and to say no to the norm. Unless you have a friend named Norm. And Norm is cool. And Norm's bringing the rum chata. Have your unusual. When you got the good
That one's more of a, you're leaning more in the story, especially when we bring our good friend Norm in there. But yeah, focusing on, it's the same deal somewhat. This one's much more story driven for you, I think, in your performance of it. But, pardon me. Let me listen to it a little bit.
The time has come to rethink your regular, to break away from.
So here, the thing that I'm missing is what is the regular, and why do we need to rethink it? Because the tagline is
have your unusual.
Have your unusual. So we're here to shake things up. We're here to invite Norm, who I would presume is a play on the word normal in some way. So we want to, in terms of this little, 12-second story, the major points we need to address. This stuff's regular. This stuff is normal. This stuff might be kind of boring, but Norm, who is usually the boring guy, maybe, I don't know, but you invited Norm. Oh, well, Norm's okay. He brought this stuff. Have your unusual or whatever. So anytime an ad gives you something that is like a setup punchline, or this is A and we want B, or in this one it's regular, normal versus unusual, and we want the unusual to be like really appealing. So that's an important thing to look for.
When you got the good stuff, you can get to the good stuff. It could be football stuff, backyard summertime stuff, no one read the book for book club stuff, or even, okay, so it doesn't look like the picture, but we'll call it a dip and move on with our live stuff. Because when you've got the good stuff, you can get to the stuff that really matters. Oh, and salsa. Salsa matters too. Tostitos. Get to the good stuff.
Okay. This is a good one to talk about because it's conversely or in opposite, juxtaposed against the regular versus unusual. This one is hammering the same point over and over. Good stuff. These are good things. And the challenge there is each one has to still be married to the same tone in that these are all wonderful things. And yet, we've got to separate each of the, this is a good thing, this is a good thing, this is also a good thing, that over there, that's a good thing, and even, that's a good thing too. Oh yeah, salsa, that matters a lot as well. And as I just did here automatically, pointing in my space helps me to differentiate them, yet make them all sort of in the same family, in the same world. So that would be my recommendation there. Additionally, you'll notice in your waveform here, you've got a fair amount of peaks in your audio where you get loud and then you go back to your sort of average levels. I would either ride your gain there, meaning turn the volume on or gain on your interface down when you get to the laughy bits, or set your gain lower so that you can boost things in post. This is also the first spot where, technically speaking, I've heard your room a lot, meaning I would maybe look into investing a bit into sound treatment in your space a little bit. There's a little bit of echo and reverb going on, reflections that I can hear that if you tackle them will really amplify your audio quality. Let me see how long we've got. Okay, let's listen to the next one.
How to score a great room on vacation. Stay with relatives. Or take a carnival cruise where you can take in a different ocean view every day.
Before I go too far, you have the right idea. I think you're a line too early here, though, because you're acknowledging how to get how to save money on a great vacation. stay with relatives. And you're breaking the punchline there, but I could be wrong, but I might hold off to flip the twist, sort of deadpan you know how you can save a lot of money on vacation? Stay with relatives. Or you can do this other thing instead of sort of acknowledging that who would ever want to stay with relatives. By delaying the sort of laugh there, the payoff is just greater.
For your own personal stateroom attendant, make sure your room is perfect. A great vacation is easy on a Carnival cruise.
A great vacation is easy was lovely. A great vacation is easy. You even did a shrug there. And I would just bring a little bit of that energy as well to the Carnival Cruise final tagline. The reason being primarily because if you have this really it's so easy on a Carnival cruise and you drop the energy on the thing that's important, the whole reason we're here, we lose some value there. But if you say it's easy on this thing right here and you keep it up, it doesn't have to be the same energy or level, but by keeping it in a similar world and keeping it sustained, you'll sell more cruise packages or whatever. Let's listen to this last bit.
Should the things you're dreaming about really be called dreams? For many of us, we just want a little better, a little easier. At Coast Capital, being member-owned means what matters to you matters to us. We understand your real financial goals and can help you make a plan to reach them. And for a limited time, we're offering up to $500 cash when you become a member. Discover the difference a real financial partner makes. Visit coastcapitalsavings.com/switch to learn how you can get up to $500. Conditions apply. Coast Capital. We're for real.
That was really lovely. I thought you were hitting really specific parts really, really nicely. You were lifting words that were important for me to hear. I can't remember them right now. I've been doing an audiobook recording all day, so forgive me, I'm a little glazed over. But you were lifting words for me to hear, which was really, really nice. And you had a nice emotional, empathic tone, which in comparison to your first few reads, it was more story driven. It was linked to the things that you were saying in a way that had me really responding to it, which is awesome. A couple notes here. You can slow down a smidge. I don't know what sort of length this ad is meant to be in, but there are a couple moments where you kind of cruise through passages and it's hard for me to track exactly what you're saying. So if you just pump the brakes a little bit, that'll help us to follow along more, and it might help amplify the storytelling a bit if it is this sort of, empathic, emotional relatability track that we're trying to pull here. So yeah, pump the brakes a bit, and lifting the stuff was really nice. What else? Let me listen to a bit more.
Should the things you're dreaming about really be called dreams?
Yeah, that's a point where should the things that you're dreaming about really be called dreams? If you slow that down, because you have the sense of it, and just slowing down a bit will really amplify, I think. Wait, what am I doing here? Okay. Sometimes I forget what buttons to push, okay? Cut me some slack. Kui, thanks so much for sending this in. Really, really lovely work. I can't wait to hear more of it. For the rest of you, I hope this was helpful as well. And if you have any questions, again, you can hit me up here on my website. There's coaching on my website, of course. And until the next one of these, everybody, be well, and I'll see you there. Toodles.